Today, I'll be reacting to Larry Bird's most savage moments. So, let's go right into the video.
Retired NBA players often like to compare the good times with today. And to be honest, it sounds like a broken record machine at this point. They often say players today are soft and they can't play in our era and things like that. I'm not about to debate that here, but what I will say is what is probably inarguable is the fact that players talked a lot more smack back in the day. And one of the best to ever do it was the one and only Larry Bird, aka Larry Legend. Today we'll take a look at some of his most savage moments.
I do agree. More players back in the day talk more trash than players today. Yeah, I think refs back in the day let players do way more. They'll let players fight and say comment foul. Like, come on.
During his rookie year, Reggie Miller and the Pacers were down 3 points against the Celtics with 20 seconds left in the game. To stop the clock, the Pacers went to the foul game, but unfortunately, they fouled Larry Bird. As Bird went to the line, Miller tried to distract his concentration by getting into his head. He was like, hey. But before Miller even blurted out another word, Larry cut him off and shushed him up by saying, "You gotta be kidding me. Rook, you gotta be kidding me. Rook, I'm the best shooter in the league right now. In the league. Understand? And you're up here trying to say something?" Bird would calmly sink the crucial free throws to beat the Pacers 119-113. He also dropped 34 points along with 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals to send out a major statement to the young Reggie.
Hey, I respect Reggie Miller for that, though. Reggie wasn't scared to talk trash to Larry Bird. Of course, Larry Bird got the best of him, because that's Larry Bird. And of course, he probably made the free throws. And like the narrator said, Larry Bird got 34, 7, 4, and 2. But I respect Reggie Miller for that, trying to talk trash to Larry Bird at the line. I can't get mad at Reggie for that. I would have done the same thing. Respect to Reggie Miller. He wasn't scared.
Throws to beat the Pacers 119-113. He also dropped 34 points along with 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals to send out a major statement to the young Reggie. I think from that moment onwards, Reggie learned to zip his mouth whenever Larry was around. Anyway guys, off to the next story. In 1986, Larry Bird was at the peak of his greatness, winning his 3rd consecutive MVP, as well as grabbing the Finals MVP trophy while averaging 25.8 points a ball game. He was so good this particular year that on the night of Valentine's, he simply decided that he would not be using his right hand against the Blazers. Here's exactly what he said. "Tomorrow night's the last game of the trip. I'm going to play this one left-handed. Well, at least through 3 quarters. True to his word, Bird broke the hearts of the Blazers on V-Day by dropping 47 points while mostly using his left hand.
There's Bird. Bird with the left hand.
That was a nice shot right there. Larry Bird strictly was just bored. Either the Trailblazers was that bad or he was just bored, because I think he said through 3 quarters on 9 jump shots, he's going to use his left hand. Pump fake to the left hand floater, that's nice. Let's go back to that. I like that. That was a nice play.
47 points while mostly using his left hand.
There's Bird.
Yeah, that's nice.
Bird with the left hand, and it stays. Real quick, penetrated. Bird.
After the game, he was asked why he refused to use his dominant hand, to which he replied, "I'm saving my right hand for the Lakers." Man, is that cold-blooded or what? Now, if you think that...
Okay, so the Trailblazers at that time had to be bad. He said, "I'm saving my right hand for the Lakers." The Trailblazers had to be bad. They had to be horrible during that time.
Man, is that cold-blooded or what? Now, if you think that was savage, wait until you hear this next story about Dennis Rodman. We all know that Rodman has a history of saying unpleasant things, and in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals in 1987, he pushed the boundaries further by saying an off-color remark to Larry. Game 5 at Boston. I made the most wrong decision that a person can make. At the time, I didn't know any better because I was so used to being in the projects. God, I was young and stupid, so after the game, I said if Larry Bird was black, he would be just an average basketball player. That is what I actually said back then, and I was in Boston. Larry heard the interview and was not happy about Rodman's comment. In Game 7, Bird had his payback, and he went to destroy Rodman with his skills and his mouth.
Oh, Dennis. Oh, man. Rodman, bro. You said that. Oh, man. And you said that in Boston. Oh, man. When it's pretty much impossible to win a game at, you said that in Boston. Oh, man. Dennis Rodman, bro. Yeah, Dennis Rodman was wild for that comment. You can't say that to Larry Bird in Boston. You just can't say that to him. Yeah, Dennis Rodman was wild for that. He was wild for that. Oh my gosh, he said that in Boston. I know he heard a lot of comments. I know he heard some stuff. Let's go back.
1987, he pushed the boundaries further by saying an off-color remark to Larry. Game 5 at Boston. I made the most wrong decision that a person can make. At the time, I didn't know any better because I was so used to being in the projects. God, I was young and stupid, so after the game, I said if Larry Bird was black, he would be just an average basketball player. That is what I actually said back then, and I was in Boston. Larry heard the interview and was not happy about Rodman's comment. In Game 7, Bird had his payback, and he went to destroy Rodman with his skills and his mouth. According to Rodman, here's what went down when he was guarding him. I would be all over him trying to deny him the ball, and all Larry was doing was yelling at his teammates, "I'm open. Hurry up before they notice nobody is guarding me." Then he would stick an elbow in my jaw and stick the jumper in my face. Then he would start in on my coach. "Coach, you better get this guy out and send in somebody who's going to D me up, because it's too easy when I'm wide open like this."
They clear the zone. It's Bird one-on-one with Rodman.
Well, again, Rodman has done a good job.
Bird takes a three.
Oh, he was cooking Rodman.
Bird was in a league of his own when it came to knocking down long-range bombs.
Oh, Larry Bird was giving Rodman buckets. That's tough. He acted like Rodman ain't guarding him. He talking to the coach. He elbowing Rodman in his jaw, hitting jump shots in his face. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Yeah, Larry Bird was a dog. He was a dog. He was nice. That's savage right there. That's savage.
Bird takes a three.
Larry Bird was in a league of his own when it came to knocking down long-range bombs during his heyday, and when the NBA Finals introduced the three-point shooting contest in 1986, he quickly cemented himself as the most lethal marksman in the league. In 1988, heading to his third three-point contest, Bird was extremely confident that he'd bag his third consecutive three-point title. Right before the competition began, Bird tried to mess with his opponents' heads by going to the locker room and saying that the contest was already over before it even started.
Walking in the locker room, who's playing? Did you really say that? Who's playing for second?
Yeah, I did.
Now, on top of this trash talk, Bird didn't even bother to remove his warm-up jacket during the contest. And guess what? He won. Sheesh, guys. This is a dude who looked his opponents in the eye and said, "Who's coming in second?" Then followed it up by not even removing his warm-up jacket. And won. Talk about confidence. Anyway, guys.
Yeah, Larry Bird confidence was out of this world. That's a nice check though, 12,500, especially like during that time. That's a nice check right there. He won too. Oh yeah, for them checks, I would have been in a 3-point contest every year. I would have been in them contests every year. No, yeah, Larry Bird was hooping. Now Larry Bird, he's most definitely one of the best shooters in NBA history. Like no doubt, he's one of the best shooters ever. This guy went into the locker room. So who's coming in second? That's tough. That's sweet. I like that.
Warm-up jacket. And won. Talk about confidence. Anyway, guys, our next story happened in 1992 when Bird was part of the Dream Team, and it goes something like this. So, the head coach of Team USA personally handpicked a bunch of talented college players to have a scrimmage with the Dream Team to gauge their chemistry. The first run as a unit of the Dream Team didn't go as planned, and shockingly, the college prospects won easily behind.
Wait, let's go back. That pass from Magic was cold. Hold up. That pass was insane.
As a unit of the Dream Team didn't go as planned, and shockingly, the college prospects won easily behind closed doors. Right after the embarrassing loss, Rodney Rogers, who was playing for the side of the college team, was feeling upbeat about their win, and during the heat of the moment, he wasn't able to control his mouth and said something like this to Bird. "Hey Larry, you ain't hit a jumper since '84. After Rogers said those words, Bird didn't say a single word, but everyone on the Dream Team knew that Larry took it personally. In the next day's practice, as everyone expected, Larry brought Rogers to school. I mean, he was scoring bucket after bucket over his head, and what's even crazier about all of this is the fact that Bird was telling Rogers how he would score on him. Jamal Mashburn's witnessed firsthand how Bird murdered Rogers in that game, and here's what he said. Magic Johnson fed Larry Bird the ball, probably about 8 times in a row down the court. Larry got the ball on Rodney Rogers, and every time he was about to make a move, he told him what he was going to do. 1 dribble, pull up, going left, off the glass, bucket. 1 dribble, going right, spin, shot, bucket. He scored 9 times or 8 times in a row, left the court to go lay down because he couldn't sit on a bench because of his back injury, and said, "Young fella, look like '84, huh?"
It's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Nah, Rodney Rogers. Oh my gosh. He said he didn't hit a jumper since '84. That's insane. You was asking to get destroyed. Duh. I never heard this story before. Nah, that is insane. Yo. I know you happy you beat him, but you telling Larry Bird he didn't hit a jump shot since '84? That's insane. I respect the trash talk, but man, oh man. Magic gave Larry Bird the ball 8 or 9 times straight down the court, and Larry Bird pretty much scored every time on Rodney Rogers. That is crazy. That is nuts. Oh, Rodney Rogers, oh man. Yeah, he was asking for it. That is insane.
He scored 9 times or 8 times in a row, left the court to go lay down because he couldn't sit on a bench because of his back injury, and said, "Young fella, look like 84, huh?" Dominique Wilkins emerged as one of the fiercest rivals of Larry Bird in the mid-'80s, but during his rookie season, he had a rude awakening when he found out that Bird wasn't the kumbaya type of guy that you can easily be friends with. According to the Human highlight reel, Bird rejected his friendly approach during one of their early matchups, and here's the full story in detail. One of the first times I ever played against him, I went out for the opening tip and I went to shake his hand. He just stood there and looked at me stone-faced with his hands behind his back. I was like, whoa. Then we were getting ready for the tip and he says to me, "You don't belong in this league, Holmes." I couldn't believe it, but it happened so fast. I didn't know what to think. Then they had the ball and I was on him and he said, "I don't know why they got you guarding me, Holmes. You can't guard me." Then swish, he hit a 3. Then he came down again and said, "They made a mistake putting you on me, Holmes." And he took another 3. Though Bird initially got the upper hand, Dominic became so furious with Bird's trash talk game.
Larry Bird was talking to Dominique Wilkins crazy. He said, "You don't belong here, Holmes." Why you keep calling him Holmes? No, Larry Bird legit was a savage, though. Dominique Wilkins was nice. In my opinion, Dominique Wilkins is one of the most underrated players in NBA history. Dominique Wilkins was a dog. And Larry Bird telling him he don't belong in this league. "Why you guarding me?" Them matches with the Celtics and the Hawks, Dominique used to be giving the Celtics buckets. Like, Dominique Wilkins was that guy. He was real nice. Dominique Wilkins was a bucket. Larry Bird was talking to him crazy, though.
Full story in detail. One of the first times I ever played against him, I went out for the opening tip and I went to shake his hand. He just stood there and looked at me stone-faced with his hands behind his back. I was like, whoa. Then we were getting ready for the tip and he says to me, "You don't belong in this league, Holmes." I couldn't believe it, but it happened so fast. I didn't know what to think. Then they had the ball and I was on him and he said, "I don't know why they got you guarding me, Holmes. You can't guard me." Then swish, he hit a 3. Then he came down again and said, "They made a mistake putting you on me, Holmes." And he took another 3. Though Bird initially got the upper hand, Dominic became so furious with Bird's trash talk game that when the opportunity for payback presented itself, he put him on a poster with a monstrous throwdown.
They find Wilkins. Look out. Dominic Wilkins.
After that,
Yeah, he destroyed Larry Bird on that. That's crazy. That man was ready for Larry Bird. Why would Larry Bird even jump with that? Think about it. Why would Larry Bird even jump? Dominique was like, oh, he was ready for that. You saw, he was like, yeah. No, look, you saw him do that. He was happy after he dunked on Larry Bird. He's like, yeah, I got you now.
They find Wilkins.
Look at that.
Look out. Dominic Wilkins.
Why would Larry Bird jump with that? Why would he jump with that? Like, come on, that's Dominique. You might as well just stay on the ground. You might as well let him get the bucket. Now you on a poster.
They find Wilkins. Look out. Dominic Wilkins.
After that dunk, Wilkins finally earned the respect of Bird, but not without some extra dish of trash talk in the end. According to Dominic, Bird got the last laugh. He got up and said, "I like you, rookie. You've got guts." I was happy for a second, and then he said, "But I'm still going for 40 on you tonight." True to his word, Bird would deliver yet another big game and grab the win for the Celtics, and though he only managed to score 39 that game, he proved once again that you can't outclass Larry Legend, even if you're as legendary as Dominic Wilkins. Anyway, on to...
Wait, that's how you pronounce his name, Dominic Wilkins? I thought it was Dominique Wilkins. So that whole time, his name was Dominic? I thought it was Dominique. I'm tripping. Wow. Well, that's how the narrator pronouncing his name. I thought it was Dominique. So it was Dominic Wilkins? Oh, now let me go back.
And though he only managed to score 39 that game, he proved once again that you can't outclass Larry Legend, even if you're as legendary as Dominic Wilkins. Anyway, on to another story here. Larry Bird is a competitive guy, as we can all see, and in this tale, he wanted to prove that he's the greatest Celtic ever. You see, at the time, the Celtics' record for most points in a single game was held by Bird at 53 points. But then on March 3rd, 1985, his teammate Kevin McHale scored 56 points, and then after that, Bird pretty much echoed what Thanos said to Thor. He didn't say, "You should have gone for the head," but he did say, "You should have gone for 60." Well, just 9 days later, on the night of March 12th, 1985, the Celtics traveled to the Big Easy to face the Atlanta Hawks, and Bird dropped 60 on the Hawks, which effectively erased the record previously set by McHale, which lasted only for 9 days. Meanwhile, another teammate, Robert Parrish, said this about Bird that night. He told us at halftime that nobody could stop him, so just give him the ball and get out of the way. Then he went out and started taunting the Atlanta players on the floor, the ones on the bench, their coaches, even the referees. He was talking so much trash he was buried in it. It was one of those nights when he could have drop-kicked the ball in. I loved it.
And you know, that quote was fire. He said he talked so much trash, he was buried in it. That's cold. That's a fire quote. That's a fire quote right there. That's when you know the Celtics was like a great team and you had great players. Larry Bird's probably bored playing these bad teams or decent teams, whatever, because he was beating everybody. He telling McHale you should have gone for 60. That is crazy competitive right there. He just say good job or nothing. You should have went for 60. No, but we go back to that quote what Robert Parrish said. He said he talked so much trash, he was buried in it. That quote is fire.
On the floor, the ones on the bench, their coaches, even the referees. He was talking so much trash, he was buried in it. It was one of those nights when he could have drop-kicked the ball in. I loved it. What a way to break your teammate's scoring record, plus get 60 points by trash-talking your way there. Anyway, guys.
Nah, and when he kept making the shots, they didn't show it, but the Hawks bench was going crazy. They was getting hyped by Larry Bird destroying them. That's when you know you was hooping. When the other team you was getting buckets on is like high-fiving, smiling, jumping out their seats and all that, yeah, that's when you know you was hooping. And you're destroying them, yeah, that's when you know you was hooping.
Plus, get 60 points by trash-talking your way there. Anyway, guys, do y'all know one person that players should have never trash-talked? Michael Jordan. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but some players in the NBA actually trash-talked the GOAT. Anyway.
Trash-talk the GOAT? People was trash-talking LeBron. Because I know he just said Michael Jordan, but he said the GOAT, though. I know you shouldn't talk trash to Michael Jordan, but he said that's why you should never talk trash to the GOAT. LeBron was getting trash-talked. I mean, I won't be surprised if there was some trash talk stories to LeBron. But yeah, you don't trash talk LeBron, though, because he just said don't trash talk the GOAT. So yeah, don't trash talk LeBron.
Person that players should have never trash talked. Michael Jordan. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but some players in the NBA actually trash talked the GOAT.
I can't believe it either. People out here was really trash talking to LeBron. That's crazy. The real GOAT. That's another conversation for another day. But yeah, shout out to Hoops Report for that video. You don't trash talk Larry Bird. You just don't. It's going to go bad for you real quick. Like Larry Bird already in the games was probably going to get 30 to 40 on you anyway. But when you trash talk him, you're bound to get 50 or 60 dropped in your head. Like you don't trash talk Larry Bird. There's just like superstars like Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, LeBron, Magic, whoever y'all can think of. You don't trash talk them. Like other players like Kobe, like you don't trash talk them. They're already gonna be destroying you in the game already. Now you're gonna give them even more motivation to destroy you. You don't do that. You don't do that. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. Nah, Dennis Rodman quote was crazy. But what Rodney Rogers said, because Dennis Rodman, he said Larry Bird was black, he'll be a regular player. Rodney Rogers talking about in 1992. He talking about Larry Bird haven't hit a jump shot since 84. That's crazy. That is insane. Yeah, don't trash talk to Larry Bird. Look, everybody in the Dream Team knew. Like he said, Magic Johnson gave Larry Bird the ball 8-9 straight times in a row with Rodney Rogers guarding him. That everybody knew what was going to happen. Yeah, Larry Bird was a flat-out savage in a good way, in a competitive way. I don't think Larry Bird was actually like a bad person. He was just very competitive. So drop down in the comments below your thoughts about this video, your thoughts about Larry Bird. What's your favorite moment from Larry Bird? What's your favorite trash talk moment from Larry Bird? Was it in this video? Was it not? Just drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm curious to see what everyone think. Furthermore, like and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell so you won't miss another video from me. And I hope everyone have a blessed day.